Thanks, Kevin. Thanks for your patience.
Okay, paper six.
Hey, Brenda.
Hi, Brenda.
I'll wait till have you got where we're up to? Yep,
Yeah, numbers paper six.
yep, the eternal sun. Oh, oh, I just dropped straight in.
Yeah, that's it.
Ah,
Seek only the experience, no?
ah.
Mm.
Hey, someone else might have to read.
Well, this is the beauty, guys. This is what I'm gonna try to get across.
Oh,
Like, can you feel this? It's like something happens, right? And we can, if it happens for Allison, it happens for me too, straight away. Like it's instantaneous. And if you a little bit tune into it, there we are. We're all connected into this. That's the thing.
okay, I'm going to read.
And I just want to say that, like, never feel like when you have an experience, that's number one, reading's number two.
Mm,
But once you're in, be in, because this is what you're really learning from. It's from the experience, not from these papers.
it's nice if you can read and if you can do both. I feel like I might be able to, so let's just.
But this is the key, this is like, this is the gold.
Mm,
Drop in, and then you go, oh God, like you are touched by this, and then something in you awakens. And that's what we're looking for, not what this bloody book says.
Hmm.
And it's a good book.
yeah, it is.
It is, isn't it?
It's a page turner.
Yeah.
As long as you don't let your head get in the way.
Yeah.
Who would?
Ah, okay. The eternal sun. Ah, ah,
It's just like an
hmm.
eternal orgasm, isn't it?
It's just the eternal joke.
Yeah.
It's something really, really funny. Okay.
Mm, beautiful.
Oh, the eternal sun is the perfect and final expression
Mm,
of the first. No, I can't do it.
okay.
Someone else can read.
Yes. Who's
I'll
next?
just sit here.
Kim, can you read?
Yeah, sure. The eternal sun. The eternal sun is the perfect and final expression of the first, personal, and absolute concept of the universal Father.
Mhm.
Accordingly, whenever and however the Father personally and absolutely expresses himself, he does so through his eternal Son, who ever has been, now is, and ever will be, the living and divine Word.
Hmm.
Amazing.
Mm.
Divine word, huh?
Yeah.
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 Because it's like we do the same thing. Like you say something and it either blesses you or it condemns you. But it's always the word, and that brings an experience. Yeah, a thought can.
Yeah, what a word is it's an expression.
Yes.
It's an action of expression.
You know, in Slovakia, we have this really quite amazing thing, and it's that, and I've said this before, but just oh, I love this. Like we have this masculine and feminine in the language way more than in other languages, and they we have this like God is masculine, but His love is feminine. So it's like God is like the presence, but His love is the movement. And I always love that. I love how that works. I was like, oh, yeah, God is forever the same presence.
Mm.
Everything that the radiance and the everythingness of it is, this like an eternal movement. And I think this is expressing that in some way. Anyway, I had to say that.
And this eternal sun is residential at the center of all things, in association with and immediately enshrouding the personal presence of the eternal and universal Father.
Beautiful.
We speak of God's first thought and allude to an impossible time origin of the eternal Son for the purpose of gaining access to the thought channels of the human intellect. Such distortions of language represent our best efforts at contact-compromise, it's weird, with the time-bound minds of mortal creatures. In the sequential sense, the universal Father never could have had a first thought, nor could the eternal Son ever have had a beginning. But I was instructed to portray the realities of eternity to the time-limited minds of mortals by such symbols of thought, and to designate the relationships of eternity by such time concepts of sequentiality. Holy dolly.
Yes.
Shall I keep going?
Please.
The eternal Son is the spiritual personalization of the Paradise Father's universal and infinite concept of divine reality, unqualified spirit, and absolute personality.
Mm-hmm.
And thereby does the Son constitute the divine revelation of the Creator's identity of the universal Father. The perfect personality of the Son discloses that the Father is actually the eternal and universal source of all the meanings and values of the spiritual, the volitional, the purposeful, and the personal.
Mm-hmm.
In an effort to enable the finite mind of time to form some sequential concept of the relationships of the eternal and infinite beings of the Paradise Trinity, we utilize such license of conception as to refer to the Father's first personal, universal, and infinite concept. It is, it is impossible for me to convey to the human mind any adequate idea of the eternal relations of the deities. Therefore do I employ such terms as will afford the finite mind something of an idea of the relationship of these eternal beings in the subsequent eras of time. We believe the Son sprang from the Father.
Wow.
We are taught that both are unqualifiedly eternal. It is apparent, therefore, that no time creature can ever fully comprehend this mystery of a Son who is derived from the Father, and yet who is coordinately eternal with the Father himself.
Mm.
Mm.
You can never
Oh,
fully comprehend. Yes, it's a mystery.
Wow. How you doing there, Virginia?
Okay. Mhm.
It's mouthful, hey.
Mm.
Well, yes, in a way it is a mouthful, but there is no division there.
Beautiful.
It's oneness.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Instead of the word eternal, I often think of infinite as something that has no beginning or end. Eternal, I don't know, just in my way of looking at it is has no end. I could, it's
We're just checking in because sometimes it's so overwhelming, and we're in a sixth chapter, and so it's yeah.
well the thing is you see things uh through your mindset that's been programmed there.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. Sometimes something clicks and you switch. An understanding comes, or a feeling, an emotion, a
Mm-hmm.
passion.
Beautiful. That's it.
Yeah, what is it with the word sprang? That's sort of, I don't know what happened there. Sprang.
Yeah, beautiful. Sprang.
Rang.
Sprang.
Mm. Sprang.
Like rabbit.
Yeah,
it's funny. I noticed that word too.
yeah.
Is it unusual? Because me, second English is second language, so I'm not really sure. So what does that actually mean?
It means it sort of jumped out of,
Yeah.
Yeah,
sprang. Yeah.
yeah.
Seems like there needed to be a bigger word, greater word than sprang. Exploded or I don't know.
It's not something that's used very commonly now, is it, that word? Yeah. But it just, I don't know, it evoked something, didn't it?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's leap, jump, bound, vault, and hop.
yeah.
Hopped out of there, going like,
Yeah,
let there be light.
yeah, like, yay! Like,
Yeah.
sprang forth. Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, to me, the word spring is something that's wound to such a tightness that it can't hold anymore, so it comes forth.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's
Mm.
nice.
True. Yeah, it's lovely. Okay.
Beautiful.
Would someone else like to read, or shall I keep going?
My bad.
I can have another go.
Okay, great.
Is that all right?
Yeah, yeah, fabulous.
Yeah,
Please,
I didn't.
if you ever need to stop, please do, because it's great.
Okay. Identity of the eternal Son. The eternal Son is the original and only begotten Son of God.
Mhm.
He is God the Son, the second person of deity and the associate creator of all things. Associate creator.
Mm.
As the Father is the first great source and center, so the eternal Son is the second great source and center. The eternal Son is the spiritual center and the divine administrator of the spiritual government of the universe of universes.
I love that.
The universal Father is first a creator and then a controller. The eternal Son is first a co-creator and then a spiritual administrator. God is spirit, and the Son is a personal revelation of that spirit.
Mm.
Mm. The first source and center is
Volitional.
the first source and center is the volitional absolute. The second source and center is the personality absolute. I just slipped into feeling like I'm totally stoned for a moment.
Hmm.
The universal Father never personally functions as a creator, except
Mhm.
in conjunction with the Son or with the coordinate action of the Son.
Mhm. The same as God is, yeah? As God is, and it doesn't do anything. It's just like pure isness.
Mm,
Mm.
right.
Of course, it says God is, and we cease to speak, right? Yeah.
Mm.
I guess that's what that experience is, Alison. Like when it just drops, you drop in and suddenly you're in this isness, just like the Father is, yeah?
Mm.
Yeah, it's just suddenly something ignites and just is the isness of itself, isn't it? I'm sure you guys all know what I'm talking about.
Hmm.
Well, so it's like I said yesterday about like my mind is like my normal mind is just somewhere else. It's gone, which
Mm,
is really nice.
mm.
But then I have this thing of, am I not supposed to do something here? Yeah.
Like the whole thought system that was there just goes, and then presence comes in.
Mm,
When that presence comes in, it's the same isness, same radiance that just comes. The second coming, yeah, comes as you.
oh,
Yeah, beautiful.
had the New Testament writer referred to the eternal Son, he would have uttered the truth when he wrote, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God."
Hmm.
All things were made by him, and without him was anything was not anything made that was made. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made.
Mm.
When a son of the eternal Son appeared on Urantia, those who fraternized with this divine being in human form
Mm.
alluded to him as he who was from the beginning, whom we have heard, whom we have seen with our eyes, whom we have looked upon, and our hands have handled, even the word of life. And this
Beautiful.
bestowal Son came forth from the Father just as truly as did the original Son, as is suggested in one of his earthly prayers. And now, O my Father, glorify me with your own self, with the glory which I had with you before this world was. The eternal Son is known by different names in various universes. In the central universe, he is known as the coordinate source, the co-creator, and the absolute, and the associate absolute. On Uversa, the headquarters of the super universe, we designate the Son as the coordinate spirit center and as the eternal spirit administrator. On Salvington, the headquarters of your local universe, this Son is of record as the second eternal source and center. The Melchizedeks speak of him as the Son of Sons.
And so
You must have practiced that word before, Alison.
What's that?
Melchizedek.
You must have practiced that word before.
Melchizedek, oh yeah. On your world, but not in your system of inhabited spheres. The original Son has been confused with a coordinate creator Son, Michael of Nebadum, who bestowed himself upon the mortal races of Urantia. Thank you, Michael.
Yes.
Ah,
Uh,
so Jesus is Michael of Nebadon is confused with the co-creator Son with God. It's like a
Mhm.
so my brain was going.
Michael of Nebadon here refers to Jesus for
Yeah,
Brenda and Virginia.
thank you.
Although any of the Paradise Sons may fittingly be called sons of God, we are in the habit of reserving the designation, the eternal Son, for this original Son, the second source and center, co-creator with the universal Father of the central universe of power and perfection, and co-creator of all other divine sons who once again spring from the infinite deities. Wow, thank you.
And Urantia, Virginia, is Earth. Is that right?
yeah.
Okay. It's just using a different language to explain what is.
Mm.
Mm. Right, who's wanting to read next?
I think this is cool that today is March the 1st, and on the net they're starting to talk about daylight savings time and spring. And to have this sprung on me in the first day of spring is memorable, and so it's helpful to remember that.
That's
Like in our hemisphere, we're starting. Well, the snow is intense, but it's melting, and you guys are probably just cooling down, maybe.
Yeah, just a little. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a shift happening right now on Urantia. If Urantia is supposed to be equated with the Earth that we live on now, um, and it's interesting. I just listened to like a Hebrew scholar guy talk about today is the first day of I forget what, but in the Hebrew calendar, this is a time of, I don't know, Mom, what would you say?
Oh, I can't think of the name of it. It's the beginning
Yeah.
of a
And
new month.
that all the planets are lined up too in our universe, which is a very rare thing in Earth's history.
So Uranus is Earth, and you're in one time zone on Earth, and we're in another, but it's all one. And that's how I see the Father and the Son as being one, not separate. But we use words. We use words to communicate that with. But I don't see that there's any. God is spirit. The Son is spirit. And what are we? Spirit.
Yeah.
So there's the oneness. But we're all occupying the same space. Just having different experiences in human form.
Yeah, and I guess that's why you guys are all laughing, is because that's amazing to think that we're not these bodies. Like that, this isn't our eternal self, because we know that they die, but we are not them. But we're more than them.
Just so you know, when I was laughing before and last week as well, I wasn't laughing about anything. I just suddenly got very, very happy.
Yes.
Yeah.
It wasn't actually about anything. It
That
felt
is
like there was a joke, but
That's where it's at.
yeah, it wasn't anything I thought or.
Oh, that's awesome. I just came in from a walk. My neighbors we're getting plowed out from the snow that hit us yesterday and caused a lot of accidents on the highway, shut a lot of things down. And so I went out because the sun is shining just now this afternoon. And as I was walking towards that direction, the Course of Miracles thought came to me, like, happiness is my function as the light of the world. And, happy for no reason.
That's what happens, We're having more of this spirit experience.
Yeah.
Tuning and realizing this is not all to us, there's more to us. And I love it how Course says it, because there's a section like what is body. There's something very interesting, like it goes into is about how it's not real. And then it says something really quite fascinating, which took me years to kind of notice. And it says, and then you reach your hand to your brothers in a support of or help, like we begin to share the love together. And now the body is holy. I love that, because when it's used properly, when it's used for the extension, I know ultimately it can't last. However, if we come from this place where we're joining, when we come, in a sense of union, even the body becomes holy for the whatever time it has left. And I love that actually how it reframes, because so many people suffer with this. Oh, I'm not a body, blah blah, and yet they're using the body to say that. So yeah, it just had this tiny little distinction. It's like, oh, when we come from different place, when we come from this wholehearted joining, even the
Well,
body. Holy.
yeah,
I love
the
that.
body is holy because it contains the spirit. It is the holy of holies.
Ego. Yeah.
It is the temple.
Excuse me.
All right, guys, shall we move on to the next bit?
Yeah.
Who's
Who's
ready
going to
to
read?
Anthony, you want to read? Or Brenda?
I can read. Can you hear me? Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nature of the Eternal Son, number 2. The Eternal Son is just as changeless and infinitely dependable as the Universal Father. He is also just as spiritual as the Father, just as truly an unlimited spirit. To you of lowly origin, the Son would appear to be more personal, since he is one step nearer you in approachability than is the Universal Father. The Eternal Son is the eternal Word of God. He is wholly like the Father. In fact, the Eternal Son is God the Father, personally manifest to the universe of universes. And thus it was and is and forever will be true of the Eternal Son and of all the coordinate Creator Sons. He who has seen the Son has seen the Father.
True.
In, in nature, the Son is wholly like the Spirit Father. When we worship the Universal Father, actually, we are at the same time worship God the Son and God the Spirit. God the Son is just as divinely real and eternal in nature as God the Father. The Son not only possesses all the Father's infinite and transcendent righteousness, but the Son is also reflective of all the Father's holiness and character. The Son shares the Father's perfection and jointly shares the responsibility of aiding all creatures of imperfection excuse me, in their spiritual efforts to attain divine perfection.
Just can I pause you for a second there?
Yeah.
I just looked up and it said there, at the same time, worship God the Son. I looked up the word worship, and first thing that comes is the feeling, right? The feeling or expression of reverence and adoration for a deity. Anyway, I love that it came up first as a feeling,
Yeah.
expression, huh?
Right.
Experiential. All right, sorry to interrupt.
That's right. My words don't feel like I'm coming out today, but I feel
Oh,
very.
it's good. It's good, Anthony.
Oh, good. I feel like I'm. Yeah.
No,
No,
it's
no.
good. It's
Good.
good.
The Eternal Son possesses all the Father's character of divinity and attributes of spirituality. The Son is the fullness of God's absoluteness in personality and spirit. And these qualities the Son reveals in his personal management of the spiritual government of the universe of universes.
Mm. Don't rush it, brother.
Oh, fucking feels I feel sad. I don't know why.
Beautiful.
Well, that is so true. This is so true. There's the Son and the Father. If the Father can't make anything or be a father of anything that isn't like him, there's the oneness. And I looked up the word divine a little bit ago in the Webster Dictionary, and it said to transcend any perceived limitations.
Mm-hmm.
So it's for us to open up to realize that we're not limited. We're, we have to transcend that. We have to go beyond that, knowing that we are like the Father because we're his child.
God is indeed the universal spirit.
A universal spirit.
God is indeed a universal spirit.
It says a?
Yeah.
Okay.
A universal spirit. God is spirit, and his spirit nature of the Father is focalized and personalized in the deity of the eternal Son. In the Son, all spiritual characteristics are apparently greatly enhanced by the differentiation from the universality of the first source and center. And as the Father shares his spirit nature with the Son, so do they together just as fully and unreservedly share the divine spirit of the conjoint actor with the conjoint actor, the infinite spirit. In the love of truth and in the creation of beauty, the Father and the Son are equally except that the are equal, except that the Son appears to devote himself more to the realization of the exclusive, exclusively spiritual beauty of the universe values.
Universal value.
I'm going to finish this. It's one more.
Yeah, finish it.
Yeah. In the divine goodness, I just discern.
Just stop a moment, Anthony. Stop. Let's take a breath. There's no the in divine goodness. Just slow down a little. Slow down a little.
Okay.
And relax.
In divine goodness, I discern no difference between the Father and the Son. The Father loves his universe children as a father. The eternal Son looks upon all creatures both as father and as brother. Thank you.
Lovely.
Mm.
it's kind of hard to believe that we could look on, say, our cat or dog as the same as the Father God. And yet, I think that's what was said, that our brothers and all creatures, Jesus sees as the Father or the divine. That's kind of neat. We don't think of things that way.
Mm.
Well, everything is spirit.
Hmm.
Everything, and spirit is energy. And we're energy beings. And we all come from the same source. Even this piece of paper has energy.
Yeah.
And universal means everything connects. It's the oneness. If a thing is universal, you can use it in every area to fix something. It's not a particular. And the universe is God. And
Wow.
the sun is God. And so are you and me and everything we see.
So who is next, Kev?
You are, Cole.
Oh my goodness. The ministry of the Father's love.
I'd like us to have a ministry of the Father's love here in New Zealand.
Beautiful. Hey, Brenda, we can hear you chewing. Thanks. The Son shares the justice and the righteousness of the Trinity. Overshadow.
That's hilarious. I thought I muted myself. Sorry.
Yeah. The Son shares the justice and righteousness of the Trinity, but overshadows these divinity traits by the infinite personalization of the Father's love and mercy. The Son is the revelation of divine love to universes. As God is love, so the Son is mercy. The Son cannot love more than the Father, but he can show mercy to creatures in one additional way. For he not only is the primal creator like the Father, but he is also the eternal Son of that same Father, thereby sharing in the sonship experience of all other sons in the universal Father. The eternal Son is the great mercy minister to all creation. Mercy is the essence of the Son's spiritual character. The mandate of the eternal Son, as they go forth over the spirit circuits of the second source, etc., are keyed in tones of mercy. I love that. Are keyed in tones of mercy.
It's so beautiful.
Sounds like music.
Yeah.
So vibrational, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. Mm. Just takes me into this vastness.
I've never heard it explained so beautifully.
Mm.
Mm.
Kid in tones of mercy. It's like a melody comes through and softens the heart
Yeah.
and reverberates the will within the. Mm.
And that's special to me because it means that we all can do that for each other. It's like singing in a big choir. We're all harmonizing together. We're not separate. Like we're not a solo act.
Mm. Yes.
I'm sure there's something in there that speaks to you as a musician, Cole, too.
Yeah.
With that, like it spoke to me in that way.
Mm. Well, you know how yesterday someone asked, to share their feelings and if we put it into words, we just end up caught up in the density of words. And yet one sound made all the difference in the room, like it transformed instantly the space into that again, like it's a tonality, isn't it? Like you can hear the sound of this room, right? It's a slightly different sound to when it's just mental. When the mental is the only domain that you use, suddenly comes this different variants. Actually, in a paper 44, which is absolutely fascinating, they explain more about the music of the spheres.
Ah.
They
Ah.
say that the most amazing music on Urantia, it's crude in comparison to the celestial vibrations.
Mm.
So what we think is the most amazing compositions in the next realm is it's a very primitive expression of vibration. And just the detail they go into and the vocabulary of expression that is in the paper 44 when it comes to the music is yeah, it's sublime. It's exquisite to read, particularly as a musician. Yeah.
Mm.
And wouldn't you say that's energy flowing out?
Well, I think you know how in A Course in Miracles, energy is mentioned about 3 times, and most of the time he says, "Don't waste your energy."
Yeah, yeah, but when you think of the spheres uh, vibrating and sending out.
Mm. I don't have that same experience, but I don't negate it. Yeah, it's almost like the energy is also I think it's got a bit of a lid on it because it's a different vibration and it's like God does nothing, so it means it's not energetic. Yeah, it's more vibrational. Can you feel the difference between the two? Like that,
Yes.
like when we said tonality, the tone, what was that line? Tone.
You used the word frequency before too, Cole. I think that's
Yeah, it's more like it's a subtle vibration. When we put energy onto it, it has like an impact. For me personally, I don't like using that word in that sense, like God is energy, or um, I find that again, I find it a little bit misleading, but that's just me.
never really thought about it like that. Yeah, I
Mm,
get what you mean.
yeah, it's like there are a few words that are not even mentioned in the course, which is energy, and even a surrender, which is interesting. Surrender is never once mentioned in the Course of Miracles.
You sure?
Not once. Interesting, huh? And it's such a popular word. And so in this, in this more of a feeling realms, like, when I begin to hear feelings rather than just feel them, but hear them also and experience the essence of a feeling. It's so refined. It's such a refined, vibrational sphere, I'd say. So I'm not big on energy, but hey, I don't want to take that away from anybody. It's a popular word, but it doesn't resonate with the experience. It's like how could I put it? For a long time with the Course Miracles, I thought I resigned as my own teacher, and I was totally delusional. I did not resign. I only decided that I resigned. When the resignation occurred, which was really even beyond me, it was more like a miracle or an experience. What happened after that, it was so incomparable to anything. And it changed everything in a way. But most of all, it awakened this feeling realm that's, it's beyond description, because the mind cannot nail it. The mind cannot describe it. However, just like that, when Alison drops in, I'm right there with her, for example. Yeah, it's like when we begin to emanate, it's more like an emanating something. Yeah. Anyway, this is the best I can do with that.
Cole, did you say that you resigned as your own teacher? Is that kind of what you said?
Well, I thought I did. For a long time, I thought I resigned as my own teacher. It's mentioned.
You kind of gave up on the course, that kind of thing?
No, it's just to resign as my own teacher. Like Jesus says it in the Course, resign as your own teacher.
Yeah. Okay.
And when it finally happened, Jesus showed up virtually, but not as a body, but as a presence.
Wow.
As a presence that completely dislodged any idea of anything, absolutely. Also pointed to the kingdom of heaven within, and basically energy was like transferred, but no longer as two. It becomes one. And I realized I've never resigned, but I thought I did. And even that resignation was more like a miracle or a grace of God, I'd say. It was grace, because I could not resign. Yeah, if I say, well, resign as your own teacher, can you do that? Yeah, exactly. And that's what happened. I thought I resigned, but I could not. But the resignation was given. It's like I was resigned in a way. So
never to go back to the way things were before.
Yeah, incomparable to anything one could possibly even imagine. Because these celestial spheres open up and you see, but not with these eyes. You see with your heart. You see with your will. Like
right. When you hear the music of the spheres.
Yes, like the feelings have eyes. Feelings are amazing. When we talk feelings, we only touching on the absolute surface. Most of them are just nailed frozen images of what we think we feel. When the real feelings begin to actually as if move or vibrate again, we become alive and informed by that experience. The Course in Miracles says, seek only the experience and do not let theology delay you. Okay? What does that mean? He says, seek only the experience, seek nothing else. And this is what we're having here. And often you will notice that we suddenly go into this silence. It's not that we are trying to be quiet. Suddenly, do you guys feel like you are suddenly taken into silence?
Yes,
Mhm.
that's what I was going to ask you. Have you ever been in a place where it was completely silent and completely, it,
Yes.
it, I
Yes.
don't know, it's with me, it seemed it was a whiteness, but completely silent.
Yeah.
But yet there was motion.
Yes, that was this movement. Yeah, subtle, very subtle movement. Hey, it was no longer static, like the mind was dislodged from its fixed position.
Yeah.
And I'm using this course miracle terminology because we're all familiar with it. We all done the course
Mm.
till forever.
Well, I'm fascinated by when the whole room goes silent and suddenly, at some point I realize, oh, we've all been quiet for a while, but I haven't even noticed. I'm just there in the silence and everyone's just slipped into it.
Hmm.
It's really lovely when that happens and no one feels like they have to fill it with something, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Sometimes people get uncomfortable with it.
yeah, yeah. Well, if you're not on it, if those receptive centers within yourself, like I love how this talks about these receptive centers, when they begin to open, we begin to see way more than we've been able to see before, or we see beyond earthly, we see the beyond the earthly option, you know, and we don't deny the earthly, we bring it into earthly even here, like that elevated self of Virginia, are you at all familiar with the Course of Love at all?
No, I know about it, but I haven't studied it or read it.
Yeah, yeah,
Unfortunately, I lost my sight when when I was really starting to get it,
yeah.
experience it.
Mhm. Right. Yeah. So they talk about this called the elevated self of form. So when we get this light, the form begins to vibrate on a very different vibration. Like even the physical begins to reverberate, not as density, but less density, less tension, less like that quietness you were talking. I know exactly what you're saying. Like the quiet comes in like you never heard before.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's the one. It's like, shit, I've never heard this kind of peace or this quiet. It's so
Mm.
quiet. It's heavenly.
It is. Yep.
Yeah. See how we meet in that? Like I know you, I know you know, and you know I know. And this is how we communicate more and more in this group. Hey, when we do this, or we also do have a Course of Love group, but this happens a lot. That suddenly we go into this silence, we're taken.
Mm.
We're taken. And for me, sometimes I take a ride with Allison, or I take a ride with Anthony. Whoever's, you know how the Course says, whoever is saner at the time. Somebody has a joyous experience, I'd rather join than dissociate from it. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Yeah, that's the way the joining happens. So also when we have these moments when suddenly the whole room goes quiet, it's it's very precious. It's really precious. And words, sometimes the words can come into it a bit harsh. So let's be attuned to this subtle realm, subtle qualities that we begin to experience. And yeah, perception can't fit in there very well. You know, perception is not an attribute of God, right? So, lesson 43. But let's read on. Eh?
Yeah.
I get too excited.
That's okay.
It's nice.
Yeah, nice, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Wow, so beautiful. To comprehend, is that where we are?
Yep.
To comprehend the love of the eternal Son, you must first perceive its divine source, the Father, who is love, and then behold the unfolding of this infinite affection in the far-flung ministry oh God, of the infinite Spirit and his almost limitless host of ministering personalities. I'm done. Oh. Uh, mm.
I think that's why I love being around people so much, is because they're all special, and it's always great to be around any snowflake is wonderful to be around.
You don't want to do those last two paragraphs, Cole, or are you just completely cooked?
So I'm saying I feel like I'm so cooked.
Okay.
The ministry of the eternal Son. Is that where we are?
Yeah.
Like it's hard to return to earth sometimes, isn't it? The ministry of the eternal Son is devoted to the revelation of the God of love to the universe of universes. This divine Son is not engaged in the
It's a silent G in the ennoble.
ignoble task, I see, of trying to persuade his gracious Father to love his lovely creatures and to show mercy to the wrongdoers of time. How to envisage the eternal Son as appealing to the universal Father to show mercy in his lowly creatures on the material worlds of space. Such concepts of God are crude and grotesque.
Mhm.
Rather, should you realize that all the merciful ministrations of sons of God are a direct revelation of the Father's heart of universal love and infinite compassion. The Father's love is the real and eternal source of the Son's mercy. God is love. The Son is mercy. Mercy is applied love. Yeah. The Father's love in action in the personal, in a person of his eternal Son. The love of this universal Son is likewise universal. As love is comprehended on a sex planet. Oh, that's funny.
What's
As
that three-letter word?
That's cool, isn't it? How it just dumps it in it. As love
Yeah.
comprehended on a sex planet, the love of God is more comparable to the love of a father, while the love of the eternal Son is more like the affection of the mother. Isn't that cool what I was just saying? Like God is love and his and God is He, and His love is she. Is the mother of it all. Crude indeed are such illustrations, but I employ them in the hope of conveying to the human mind the thought that there is a difference, not in divine content, but in quality and technique of expression between the Father and the Father, between the love of the Father and the love of the Son.
Can you repeat that last sentence?
Where does it even start?
Oh, well, just about 6, 7 words back.
Yeah, I'll read the whole sentence because it's like 4 lines. Crude indeed are such illustrations, but I employ them in the hope of conveying to the human mind the thought that there is a difference, not in divine content, but in quality and technique of expression between the love of the Father and the love of the Son.
That's what I wanted to hear. Thanks.
How we going, guys?
Brilliant.
How's Anthony?
Nah, I don't know. I feel a bit connected today.
Yeah.
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 If what?
I feel a bit sort of shocked, disconnected.
These connections are beautiful.
Yeah.
I like being disconnected.
Can you accept being disconnected, Anthony?
I'm disconnected from all of you.
Can you accept that?
I can accept that.
Can you?
Yeah.
Can you love your disconnect?
Yep. No. No, I don't know. Nah.
Yeah, beautiful. Mm.
I moved the couch last night and I've got a really sore neck. Put my neck out.
Oh,
So I'm disconnected from that too.
Disconnect.
Disconnect. Good pun.
Yeah.
it's funny that saying, isn't it? You're a pain in the neck. Like, where does that come from? It's always the neck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a pain in the ass.
More often than not.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel I've got a clunky neck. I feel clunky.
Yeah, I think it's going to come right when you reconnect. Like, seriously, it'll come right when you reconnect.
The neck connects the heart and the brain and the head.
Oh,
Yeah, go for a walk, Anthony. That'll help.
It's funny, even just talking about my neck's clunked in a bit better.
Mhm.
yeah.
Just go,
Yeah, sometimes we internalize the pain and then it becomes so real.
mm.
Beautiful. Shall we guys leave it at that today?
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you.
Mm. Exquisite.
Thank
Well,
you so much.
Thank you for letting me
Thank you.
join.
Thank you for the disconnection. Oh God.
Mm.
Lovely to see you guys.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Me too.
Mm.
It's funny, Anthony, because you read really well today, and you say you feel disconnected, but it was really nice. I felt it when you said that you didn't think it was going very well. I thought that's strange because it's really smooth.
I have no idea. I have no idea what's going on. But thank you. Yeah. No, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Blah.
Have your transparency, you know. I really, you just say how it is, you know, and you don't pretend to be some, you know.
Mm.
Don't try,
Superman.
Yeah,
I am
don't try to
Superman.
figure it out. Just let it figure you out.
yeah. It's like
Because
in that admission, you are a Superman, you know, that you make yourself so transparent and you hide nothing. I never
Yeah.
forget that line from A Course in Miracles. When you're willing to hide nothing, you will not only enter into communion, but we will realize what the real peace and joy is.
Mm. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. When you're willing to hide nothing. Imagine we just come out with everything there is hidden. Boom. All the barriers to love's presence vanish in that moment.
I
And
think that's what Hoffmeister is meaning when he says there's no private thoughts and there's no people pleasing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Private thoughts are a killer. They're just,
Yeah,
They're a
but
pain
we
in
just
the neck.
but it's so freeing when you just
Put it
with
out.
my wife and I we just say what's going on a lot of the time, most of the time, and we've become so much closer, and
Exactly.
we've actually fallen in love again. It's really amazing. Last
Mm,
We've been talking about it the last few months.
Hmm. Hmm.
that's lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Falling in
Because
love again.
the separation between you gets like you don't have to hide anything. She doesn't have to hide anything. So you're transparent and you're giving in that you give of whatever is in there.
Yeah.
You no longer judge things as good or bad. You just go, hey, this is what's here. What can I do?
I just really wanted to control her so much for so many years, not just control the way she was feeling. Like,
Yeah.
no, don't feel.
And that was only because you were controlling your own feelings. The less you control your feelings, the more they become vibrant again. And then
Yeah.
you will have less need to control anything.
Mm.
Allow yourself to truly respond to whatever is passing by.
Thinking,
All right, darling, I gotta go for a beach walk.
whoa, that's cool.
Bless it.
our beaches are too cool. My neighbor said he didn't want to go on the fishing excursion today, just too cold.
Cold, huh?
In the snow.
Yeah, and ice.
Oh shit.
All
But
right.
you have fun on that nice warm beach.
Yes. And you have fun wherever you find yourself. All right, guys. Thanks for joining.
Thank
Thanks, everyone.
you.
See you next Sunday.
Bye.
Ciao.
See ya.
Right.
Bye.
Ciao.